all you string picking guys and gals out there. Welcome back to Obscene Studios. The day has come. I'm going to have to do something I'm completely uncomfortable with, but I've been asked to do it by a very close friend, and I'm going to because it's a challenge. He's given me the go ahead, so we're going to try and do it. This is the Schecter Diamond Series C-7 7-string guitar. Not a bad instrument, I will say. You heard the intro. It's just a little something I'll probably get copyrighted for, but at this point, I'm not making no money, so who cares? This thing is just like, I don't know, man. This is the flattest neck. The action is so low and there's no string buzz. But he wants the pickups replaced. And it has a few other problems that I'm going to resolve as well. He had a problem with the switch. Sometimes when he gets into the neck position, it cuts in and out. I'm thinking just a little bit of cleaner in that may fix that problem. I'm going to look for broken solder joints or something like that. We are going to give it a spa day. I'm going to polish these frets up and clean all of the gunk off the fretboard. And this guitar has been sitting for quite some time. It was his first 7-string that he bought, I think he said back in '99. He's had it for a very long time. And this dude wails on a guitar. He is so good. I wish my hands could move like his does. He is just an absolute monster when it comes to playing these things. But anyway, we are going to be putting in believe it or not, some 8-string pickups. And what that is going to entail is I am going to have to route out these pickup cavities for this to fit. And I don't want to use a router. I do not want to use a router at all. They scare me on a job like this. I have a Dremel, and I'm pretty sure that I have an aggressive bit that will get it down. I'm looking at 95 from this point here to this point over here is 95 millimeters. We have to go out to 101, and it has to be rounded in order for this to fit down in. That's going to be what we're going to have to do to this to get it to accept those pickups. These pickups are clocking in at 17.5K on the bridge and about 8 on the neck. I did check the bridge on these, and I don't know, I'm going to recheck that again, but what I saw was 25,000, which is extremely hot. But then again, for an 8-string, what can you do? So we're going to get the strings off of it. We're going to start tearing this thing apart. And this is going to be the start of a series with this guitar. Maybe 2, 3, 4 video series that we're going to do with this guitar to get it up to what he's wanting to do with it. He says he loves this guitar. He just wants to get back into playing this guitar too. And because it was his first. So we're going to do my old buddy Brandon a favor, and we're going to fix him up the best way we know how. Guessing. I'm just kidding. But we're going to give it a shot anyway. So let's move everything to the bench and start work on this amazing instrument and see if we can't get a good game plan going on getting these 8-string pickups into a 7-string guitar. Okay, my microphone has died on me, so you guys are going to have to put up with lower volume voice, which some of you probably wouldn't mind. But I'm going to try and speak up and maybe adjust the volume post editing. So maybe that'll help y'all out. Just maybe. And say, while you're sitting there not doing nothing, if you see this video hit your feed and you like stuff like this, feel free to subscribe. Do all that clickety-clack stuff you do on your phone or your keyboards, and join the fun. This thing is, I got to tell you a little bit of story time about my buddy Brandon. I've known Brandon for a long time. Brandon has been a good friend of mine for a number, ever since, you know, we were young. I went to school with his sister. His sister was, I think, a grade above me, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, I remember the day, I think we were working at this little factory, and he worked in one department, I worked in another, and I don't know how we got off on the subject of playing music or something, but I remember distinctly him saying, "I'm thinking about picking up guitar." I was like, "Dude, do it. Just do it, you know, because you guys know that the one thing I always, even back when I was teaching beginners how to play guitar, I'd always tell the kids, I'm not teaching you this so you can be a rock star. I'm teaching you this because it's going to help you cope with life as an adult. It is the one absolute best stress relief that you can get without medicine." And so yeah, I told him, I was like, "Yeah, dude, do it. Just do it, you know, and everything." Well, I had no idea. I remember just a few years later. Yeah, you ever been one of those guys that play guitar and you've been playing for 10, 15 years, and then all of a sudden you see this kid that's been playing 2 years and he's absolutely just blowing you out of the water? Well, that's kind of like how Brandon was. I remember seeing a video that he was playing some, if I ain't mistaken, I think it might have been Disturbed, if I'm not mistaken. Something like that. I'm not sure. I think that was, I'm not sure. That was way back in the MySpace days, I think. But yeah, just killing it. I mean, killing it. I was like, holy crap, you know. And stuff he was playing in just a couple of 3 years, it took me forever to learn. But, you know, a lot of people that kind of bothers, and I'd be a liar if I say it didn't bother me that I didn't learn as fast, but I spent the larger majority of my youth trying to learn by ear, and that is very slow and time consuming. But yeah, he was just killing it. I mean, just killing it. And so we've been friends over the years. All of us guitarists have to stick together. Look, colored balls, colored balls. It's a good set of strings right there. Okay, so I'm going to show you the dilemma that we have. These are Duncan Design stock pickups that come in the Schecter Diamond Series C7. This is, and I'll show you what is cranking just here in a second. This is what we are taking out, and this is what we're putting in. Now, just a few, and I mean very few millimeters bigger. And the width looks like it may be, I'm not sure, we'll have to measure that once we get the pickups out. But basically this is what we're going to be dealing with once we get those in there. Now, I do not know if this is going to change the tone. I have no idea. I don't know how it's going to affect playability yet, but with his blessing, I am going to do it because it's going to be experience on my part. We're going to clean things up, and we're going to look at some other issues, and then we are going to tape off, measure this out, tape it off, and see what we can do about getting these new pickups in here so he can get back to playing. Another issue is that the glue on the nut has give way, so we're going to have to put a drop of super glue in that to get that back down. It looks like you have filed down your nut in a couple of spots, but that's okay because it was working just fine. I tell you what I may do though, I may widen that out a little bit because that string was sticking in there, so I may widen it but not necessarily put any depth to it because that had some amazing action. So, all right, let's flip this bad boy over. And if you hear the squeaking, it's my stupid chair. This chair is the noisiest chair in the world, but I bought two of them for $3 and they're extremely comfortable, so deal with it. Let's see here. Well, these pickups are splittable. Why they never put a split coil in this? Well, with it being 7-string, that's probably pretty redundant, but let's get the knobs off. Oh, I told him, I said, you know what? Doing this to one of my guitars wouldn't be bad, wouldn't be half as nerve-wracking as this is going to be, because nobody wants to hurt another man's guitar in any way. But after sitting and listening to him talk about it, and he was more concerned it would be putting too much work on me, which, you know what? I like to do stuff like this. I like to dabble in anything music related when it comes to repairs and this and that. Okay, one thing I meant to do was check the Duncans that we have in here, and this is our bridge. I don't know if you guys can see that. 17.7677. And let's check middle position. Middle position is 5.87. And Neck position is 8.61, and that is on the Duncans. We're taking a new approach. These pickups are splittable. So, being as they're splittable, and they have the 4-wire on them, and the pickups that we're putting in have the 2-wire, they do not have a push-pull, so they have just put the splittable parts together and bypass the whole coil split. So we're going to leave all the wires in the cavity to where they're going, and then we're going to splice in from the wires up top. So if for any reason he goes to a different 8-string pickup that happens to be splittable, the wiring will be there for him to access if he has to, or I have to, because I will most likely be the one doing it. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe I spent too much time learning how to work on a guitar and not enough time learning how to play one. And that's how all of these younger guys got better than me. I don't know. I don't care. I'm glad to see people being accomplished at an art and instrument. So let's look under the hood of the neck pickup. Yeah, okay. It's got that conductive paint on it. Huh. Okay, so I'm going to take this other one out here. I've got my little crooked needle nose out here. We can get up under it. There we go. Now she's loose. Now we got her. Yeah, okay. All right, so let's flip it back over because we are going to have to cut into it. So let's go ahead and get rid of this zip tie. So we can get a little bit of extra slack. And we'll put another zip tie back on it once we get it all back together. But we are going to come in and we're going to look at these pots and everything. When I was playing it, I didn't notice much of a problem, but I do know that this right here is going to be super, super easy to fix the problem he said he had. And I'm almost willing to bet it's going to be a dust problem, because that is an open 3-way, and we'll be able to tackle that problem pretty easily. So conductive paint that's on it and the shielding in the back, that's a good thing. Okay, so yeah, now we can get in here and we can, yeah, we can do this. All right, so let's cut. Oh, it hurts me to do this. let's cut this. And let's cut this. Oh, it's like, this is the bridge. I'm gonna go ahead while I'm, because if I don't think to do it, I know the question is going to pop up later on, and that question is going to be, hey, do you remember which pickup is which? And I see no indicators at all on which pickup belongs where, and the only way short of finding out that problem is testing them with an ohm meter and seeing what they're putting out. So I am going to put a B right here, and I'm going to put an N right here. So now we know what goes where. I suggest to any of you that ever do or try to do pickup replacements to do the same thing, because you sure don't want to have to solder something up and then wonder why your neck pickup is hotter than a $2 pistol and your bridge pickup doesn't sound that great at all to be a bridge pickup. So here is the dilemma. Yeah. They're deep enough. The width may have to take just a hair off of the width too. Just a hair. But we can do that. We could give this fretboard a good, let's go ahead and do that. Let's clean it up just a little bit while we're into it. We can do that. Look at this thing looking. Ooh, that stuff is stout. Get the old dirty rag out here. I don't know why I'm doing this. It's just going to be messy later on after I get to doing all that grinding away. So part 2 is going to be getting these holes knocked out to the size of the new pickups. We are going to try and turn this thing into something that hardly anybody has ever seen before. I can't believe that he come up with this idea. I'm anxious to see, and that was the whole idea behind the intro to this video, is I'm anxious to see just exactly how this is going to affect the tone of this guitar. Well, folks, that's part 1. We have got the old pickups out. We've got things loosened up in the back cavity to check out on the second part, and we are going to work out exactly how we're going to do this and this right here. I have something in mind. I'm not really sure yet on if I'm going to run with that, unless I see something or find something a little bit easier to do. But we're going to tape off exactly where the measurements are going to be for the new pickups, and I'm going to get an aggressive bit down in here, and I'm going to route all of this stuff out to the size of those other pickups, and those other pickups should slide right into place. And once they slide into place, the screw holes should match up perfectly. If not, we may have to fill those and add new screw holes. We're going to take the bridge off eventually, and we're going to clean it up, make it real nice and shiny and pretty like the neck is now. The neck looks amazing since we got it cleaned up and we got some oil on it, and I'm sure we're going to put more oil on it because it really soaked that up. And we're going to polish the frets too and get them looking really shiny for my good old buddy Brandon. And but for now, it's getting late, and we are going to call it there. And I guess we'll see you guys for part number 2. I really appreciate y'all coming in. Really appreciate you taking the time to watch this video. Part 1 is, well, pretty much was the easy part. The next part is probably not going to be, it'll be more nerve-wracking, I guess, than anything. But we're going to run with it, and we're going to have confidence that we can get it done, and that we're going to make this instrument something that nobody's ever seen. So I really appreciate you guys watching. I really appreciate all the likes, comments, and subscribes, and all this stuff that you guys do. Feel free to come on back anytime. Always remember, have the most blessed day ever. God be with you all, and I'll see you later.